Susan.
Good evening and welcome to the November 6, 2019 Conservation Committee meeting. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Just out of respect, I would like to take just a moment to recognize one of our members who passed away within the past couple of weeks. And I'd like to take a moment of silence for Steve Deckoff. He was very instrumental on this board as well as the local housing partnership, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Again, thank you. First order of business is reorganization of this committee. I am going to turn the chair over to Stefania for the nominations.
Okay, so at this time, I'd like to open nominations for chair. Does someone want to nominate someone?
Yeah, vice chair. I'll take vice chair.
Well, we got to nominate the chair. You're going to nominate.
Yeah,
Nominate somebody for
nominate
chair.
someone.
So I'll nominate Patrick.
Chair.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay,
You can take over.
now we need to have a nomination for vice chair, and I'm going to nominate Dennis Sheehan.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, for the last position is the clerk. I nominate Mr. Robacher for clerk. Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, first item on the agenda is approval of minutes for October 9th, 2019. Can I have a motion to that effect?
I move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Now we need the approval for the minutes of October 23rd, 2019. Can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, now we're on to the items. First item on the agenda is continued from October 23rd, 2019, the public hearing, notice of intent, Richard Montori, Town Manager, 984 Main Street, map and lot 47 to 79, 47 and 80, 48 to 81, and 48 to 93, DEP number 3051073. This applicant is requesting a continuance to the November 20th meeting. Is there anybody here for that? With that said, can I have a motion to continue?
So moved.
Can I have a second? All
Second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, continued from 10/23/2019, public hearing, notice of intent, John Faneros, ACC Realty, 1037 North Street and 1547, 1553, 1563 Andover Street, map 39, lots 45 to 48, DEP number 305-1077. This applicant is also requesting a continuance. Is there anybody here for this? Seeing none, can I have a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, continued from 10/9/2019, public hearing, notice of intent, Scott Kelly, R.J. Kelly and Company, Incorporated, Burt Road Development, map 115, lot 4, Route 93, map 115, lot 5, Route 93, map 115, lot 6, Route 93, map 115, lot 7, South Street Land, and map 115, lot 8, Route 93 beyond, DEP 305-1093. This applicant has also requested a continuance. Is there anybody in the audience here for that? With that being said, seeing none, can I have a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Continued from 10/23/2019, public hearing, abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, an ANRAD, Kazajian Enterprises LLC, 2512 Main Street, map 94, lot 65, DEP number 3051098. This applicant also has requested a continuance to the November 20th, 2019 meeting. Is there anybody here for that? Seeing none, could I have a motion to continue?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Public hearing, item E, public hearing, abbreviated notice of resource delineation, ANRAD, Mark Ginsburg and Ani Martel, 325 Marshall Street, map 32, lot 3, DEP number pending. This applicant is also requesting a continuance to November 20th, 2019. Is there anybody present for this? Seeing none, can I have a motion to continue to the November 20th, 2019 meeting?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay. And it's, now we got something. Okay. This is a public hearing, request for determination of applicability. Brian Santos, 12 Massachusetts Road, map 95, lot 22. Is there anyone here for that?
Yes, myself.
Okay.
I'm the homeowner, this is the neighbor across.
Okay, can you introduce your name for the record?
My name is Brian Santos.
My name is Larry DeVito. I'm at 250 South Street.
Okay, thank you. All right. You want to tell us what we're here for?
Yes. So, on my property, there's wetlands on the sides. And I have 2 existing decks that I am remodeling. Basically, the wood on there is crumbling. When I purchased the home, there was, from the previous homeowner, it basically it's crumbling. I'm looking to remodel it, put the new boards in, put new railings. And at that time, the old homeowner had put an extension on there because he put a pool there also. When I purchased the home, there was no pool. So, basically, I'm just looking to remodel the 2 decks and put a fence where the wetlands are, like on the side, shown on here on the plot plan, because it kind of drops. There's a drop there, like a 4-foot drop. Stefania, I believe, took photos. I have a couple of photos. I also have photos of the old homeowner to kind of give you an idea.
So the proposed fence is going in the no disturb zone?
I believe, yes. Yes, because there's a steep there, it falls down. I have 2 little kids. The thing is, it's not flat land. It is about maybe 10 to 20 feet where it's straight like this, and then it just seeps down about 4 feet. So that's where I'm just trying to put a fence to cover it. Stefania, like I mentioned, I'd taken photos and seen it. She had told me to put this black thing around it, basically for safety reasons. So I'm proposing a fence to go there for safety reasons. And as mentioned, I'm just looking to remodel the 2 existing decks that are there, or rebuild up to code, whatever is necessary.
Okay, Stefania, what do you feel about the fence going in the no disturb zone?
So, my thoughts on the fence in the no disturb zone is that it is existing yard area, and that there are exemptions for fences in the Wetlands Protection Act and the bylaw. The thing that I would say is if the shed could have a different location, just so it is out of the no disturb zone, that would be one that I would say should be moved if it can.
Okay, now the deck you're using the same footprint for the deck, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
It's an existing deck. I'm just,
You're not making it any bigger or any closer?
I'm actually making it smaller, to be honest.
Okay.
Because as mentioned, the whole homeowner had put a 3-foot section there on the side, and he had a swimming pool there in the do not disturb zone. And he had his own fence there. As mentioned, the fence was more of a precaution because it takes that leap down. And, but when I had purchased the house, all that was removed, except for that extra 3 foot. Like, here's the deck now, he had an extra 3 foot coming out that way. But the thing is, as mentioned, all the wood is just crumbling. So I slowly but surely was just falling.
Right.
And in my own fault, I've been kind of delaying fixing it. So eventually I just had to fix it. But as for the decks itself, they're existing, they're there. There's nothing added on. I'm actually shortening it. I'm actually making it smaller. And that's where I was just gonna, like, see, I wasn't familiar too much with the wetlands and the codes of the wetlands. So, and then I was just gonna put a deck there. I was gonna put the shed there just to protect the end of the driveway.
Okay.
But I'm totally okay if I have to move it out of there, swing it the other side or whatnot. Basically, a lot of this project is more for safety precautions, not so much I really wanted to do it. It's more for safety. As mentioned, the wood was crumbling, and the wetlands just steeping down.
I don't have a problem with the deck or the fence. I agree with Stefania, that shed has to be taken out of the wetlands. Out of the no disturb zone. I don't know if you could put it behind your house and, yeah.
So I don't have too much land according to the bylaws, meaning away from the neighbor's fence or whatnot. Right now, as it looks in the plot plan, it looks like 90% of that shed would be covering the do not disturb zone. If I was to flip it the other way, meaning right now, here's the deck, I wanted the shed to be like this, basically to cover the end of the driveway. It would be like a fake fence, so I don't drive off, or so the kids don't fall off. If I flipped it this way, would that make any difference? Instead of being 90% the do not disturb zone, it would probably be about 50%. Maybe, give or take, maybe a little more, I didn't really measure it.
Well, right now, you're probably at 90, even if you turned it.
Yeah.
It's really, to me, the size of the shed versus the, is that a fence or something that's in front of it? I don't think that's gonna greatly change, because it's a 25-foot no disturb zone
Yeah.
for a reason.
Yeah.
So I would prefer myself to have it moved. I don't know how the other board members feel. Dennis?
I don't know.
I don't mean to interrupt. My only concern is at the end of the driveway, same situation with the wetlands. It takes like a 4 or 5 foot drop. The only reason why the shed was gonna go there, it was gonna be like a make-believe wall of fence. That was the only reason it was gonna go there. I'm not trying to make a big deal out of the shed. I understand there's laws. I'm just letting you know the situation. At the end of the driveway, there's nothing there. There's a 4 foot drop. Previously, like I mentioned, the whole homeowner had that 3 foot of fence, and then he had a railing attached to the end of it, which kind of, visually you could see where the end of the driveway was. So this shed I'm kind of using as a make-believe. Obviously, I'm going to use the shed, but it's kind of also being that, protecting that drop.
Mr. Roebuck, any questions?
Well, so you say it drops, so the shed is down lower?
Yes.
So you're gonna be looking at
I would
midway through the shed kind of thing?
Yes, correct.
And is that where the pool used to be?
Yes, that's where the whole homeowner told me, yes, his pool was right there. He had built that little section. So if this is the driveway, for example, this is the driveway, and then the shed would be right here underneath it, but it would be like this high. So I would see maybe like 4 to 5 feet of it. Like I said, there's like a 4 or 5 foot drop. Stefania noticed it also, I don't know if she had seen. I'd taken some photos if you guys want to see it. There is like a 5 foot drop.
This is a public hearing. Anybody would like to speak on it?
I'm the abutter, and all of this looks perfectly sensible to me. It's kind of, my understanding is that if the old decks were replaced stick by stick as the individual pieces of wood deteriorated, it would not be an issue. But the issue seems to be you tore down the old deck, and now the new deck needs an approval. So that seems like a little bit of a loophole that it's okay to repair an existing deck, But to tear it down and put a whole brand-new deck in the exact same place, the exact same shape and size, but that's not okay, that seems a little silly. But the basic concept is, as an abutter, this all seems perfectly sensible to me.
Stefania, what do you think of the shed in the no disturb zone there?
I mean, my thoughts are it's not allowed in the no disturb zone. I do understand that it is existing yard. If we approve it now, we would have to approve it for everyone that has this kind of hardship. If there's any way to just kind of move it in back of the house, I think that would be, and I don't think there's an issue with the decks because the decks are outside of the no disturb zone. It's more the shed that was not there that is now going to be there.
The old homeowner actually had an existing deck in front of his pool in the do not disturb zone also. I actually pay taxes on a shed I don't even have. It's in the photos also. He had a shed right in front of his pool in the do not disturb zone. He made his make-believe fence also. He had his wood planks there. He still has the post there. And then as mentioned, in the bottom half of the yard, he put the shed in the do not disturb zone to protect that side of the fence. See, he wasn't too worried about the top part where I am because he had built that little extension of the deck.
I understand that, but he probably did it without.
He did it quietly. He did it without.
But now, changing all this just brings us to, and I have to agree with Stefania, I think the shed has to be moved. I don't have a problem with the deck or the fence, but I do have a problem with the shed.
So what would be the recommendations then on that 5-6 foot drop? As mentioned, I got kids, I got neighbors, I got mailmen who drop off a lot. I got a lot of people that come in and out of that yard.
Put a fence. I mean, the shed.
I would have to dig in the do not disturb zone. See, my situation, what I don't, right, so
Do you have a fence there now?
There's absolutely nothing there now. Right now, the only thing protecting that is barrows, the new wood equipment, basically everything from my backyard is in front of that to make sure no little kid, no adult, no animal falls off that ledge right now is what's there. So the thing with the shed's like, I understand where you guys come from. I'm not trying to be argumentative about it. I completely understand. Like I mentioned, if I had known most of this prior to even doing this, maybe I would have just did it his way, just replace one board at a time until it was safe and not even think about a shed so the fence was always there because like I mentioned, that was always a precaution. It was just too dangerous. I was always stuffing stuff in the corner just to protect that corner. So the shed, it's like, I don't know. So for example, am I not allowed to put a table with chairs there either? Is that like kind of an example also? Like,
It's very different.
well, the thing with the shed is I'm not trying to be like sarcastic about it. I'm trying to,
Right, but what you do need to understand, there is a Tewksbury Wetlands Protection Bylaw, which states there is a no disturb zone, which means you're not allowed to do anything in that area. The Conservation Commission could say that you're not allowed to put your fence there. So a shed could be considered a structure. So our bylaw is in place so that we can protect the buffer between your home and the wetlands. So if we approve a shed tonight, we would have to approve a shed for everyone that came in and wanted to put a shed right next to the wetlands.
I agree with you because it's not fair, obviously.
If there's a way to move it so that you could put it somewhere else in your yard and still have your shed, then you just need to show that you can do that, or this is the absolute only place that you can put a shed. And I just think you haven't shown that you can put it somewhere else or you can't put it somewhere else.
What are the laws? How far back do I have to be from my neighbors on a shed? It can't be against their fence.
That would be a building department question. I
I
don't.
think it's 15 feet. It might be 10.
Because I only have, between my house and my neighbor's fence, I only have like maybe 30 feet.
You have 30?
Maybe 40 max. How far does that to be from my house? can be against, I don't,
You can be against the house,
so
but it
tight.
has to be, what does it say, 15 feet?
I believe it's 15.
15 feet.
I mean,
And how big is the shed?
It's 118 square footage, so it's about 8 by 14, 14 feet long, 8 foot high. When I purchased it, I basically mapped it up to cover that area.
Yeah, I don't think we can approve, I mean, I don't have, like I said, I don't have a problem with the deck, but I do have a problem with the shed. And you can put the fence in the no disturb zone because you're already putting a section of fence in the no disturb zone. Or not in the no, in the no disturb zone. So my recommendation is to move the shed. You can probably get a variance for the distance of, from your neighbor's house, maybe 5, 10 feet, you know, depending upon, what is it, what board is that?
Zoning.
Zoning Board of Appeals. And I think they'll give it to you just for the reason that when you have something in your shed and you're in the no disturb zone, there's a gasoline stored in the shed, there's a lawnmower stored in the shed. If it leaks, where's it gonna go? It leaks through the floor and into the wetland. So that's why I'm not comfortable approving the shed in this location. You can move it any place out of that, even into the no build zone, and I don't have a problem with that.
All right, I mean, I agree. I'm not, like I said, I'm not trying to be argumentative about it.
No, I wish I could help you on this
Yeah.
and make it, but as Stefania has stated, is that you set a precedent for every house. Then everybody's gonna be coming in and say, well, I'm just gonna put the shed in the wetlands. So I'd prefer that the shed be removed and moved into some other, what do you have? You have 24 feet on the side of the house. And would you,
Yes, 24 feet.
right. And the
if it's
shed was
15 feet,
14?
If she, it was
I
15
believe
feet,
it's 15.
so now I'm only left with 10, it's not even,
Yeah.
So I can't put it on the side, basically, I'll have to do measurements with the tape measure, just to kind of
Okay.
get a rough idea. But I had tried that, because they had mentioned that maybe I had to move it, and I was like, all right, not a big deal, it's just a shed, I'm not gonna be, but then when I tried to like fit it everywhere in the yard, I'm like, oh man, this is a lot difficult than what I thought.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why did I buy this thing?
I understand your pain, my friend.
It's been a lot of pain,
but-
let me tell you that much, it's been a lot.
I don't know. Board members, you have any other questions?
You know, I agree, we should move the shed.
You know, it's, is there anybody else in the public wants to speak on this, by the way? Seeing none. So basically, we got to move the shed. That's the issue.
Yeah.
Shed's got to be moved.
All right.
You know, other than that, you're within your right for the deck because you're within.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is an ANRAD, right?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't
A
100% sure
request
at
for
the time until I actually
determination.
got the plot plan.
Oh, it is?
For determination, yeah.
So we can approve the deck as long as the shed is moved, correct?
If you wanted to if you wanted to issue the negative determination and condition it to say approved under the condition that the shed is moved outside the no disturb zone, you could do that. You could continue and have him think of another place to put the shed before you made a decision. I think
Yeah, I mean,
either
right
of
now-
those or two.
Right now, I don't think I'm gonna put it anywhere else, I'm just gonna dump the shed. There's just, like, it's not a big deal, I just don't feel like this, until I can really measure and map everything out. Cause obviously I have that 25-foot do not disturb zone, so now I have about this, maybe, I have to measure in between the back of my dwelling, only this little area, so I might not even put a shed back there at all, to be honest with you. And I might not even put a shed on the property, to be honest with you, because I can't go here, and I have to be within 10 feet of the neighbors, so I only got 10 here. So this is the only spot I can put it, and we know we have all those trees there, so I really only have
Trees,
this.
right.
It's just not gonna fit anywhere, so I'm not even gonna go with the shed. There's nowhere it could fit without being coated. So, there's gonna be no shed then. No shed.
Okay, I just want to say before we close out or anything without the shed, if you do decide to put a shed in and
Yeah.
it's within 50 feet of the wetland, you'll have to come back. Because within 50 feet and under 120 square feet is exempt if it's 50 feet from the wetland. But if it's within 50 feet of the wetland, it requires a permit.
If it's under 120,
So if it's under 120 square feet and you keep it 50 feet from the wetland,
Yes.
it's exempt. You can put the shed wherever you want. You don't
Right
have to
now
come
it's
back to this
118.
board.
Yeah.
So if you keep it within 50 feet of the wetland and you decide you want to put that shed in, you'll have to come back. So I just want you to be aware of that before we close or,
Do you understand?
somewhat,
So what she's saying is this shed is 100, what, how many square feet?
118 square footage.
It's 118 square foot. We were gonna let you move that shed, but since you don't wanna move the shed, you wanna get rid of it. And if you decided a year from now you wanted a shed, you'd still have to be, if it's 118 square feet, you'd have to come back in and be 50 feet within the 50-foot buffer.
Yeah.
If it's only 120 square feet, it's 12 by 10. It would be okay. But not where it is now,
Yeah,
okay? So,
If it was a 110 square foot shed, where would it be okay?
so they would, 50 feet from the wetland, under 120 square feet, that's exempt from coming back with the same application you just came with.
that means I gotta come back.
You're exempt, so you don't have to.
Oh,
right.
So it's considered an exempt activity.
Put it this way, if you had it in the backyard and the
sorry.
I
shed
can
was
send you an
smaller,
email.
So,
you wouldn't have,
Right.
you
So-
would be exempt.
so a year from now, if you want to put a 100 square foot shed,
Right. You don't have to come back. You
It
can't
has to
put it in
be,
a no
it has to
disturb
be
zone.
50 feet from the wetland.
Right.
So that's what we need. So,
and so the 50 feet looks like it's on the left-hand side. Do you have the same, are we looking at the same drawings? So the 50-foot, as I understand it, this 50-foot no-build buffer sort of comes down to sort of where the SF is on the square footage of the lot. So if you're to the left
yep,
of that dotted line, then you can put a 100 square foot shed without,
without coming back, yeah, it's
Yeah.
exempt.
Exempt.
yeah.
okay, so could I put the 118 foot one?
Yes.
Without
Yeah.
coming
If
back?
you were outside that, you could,
Okay,
sure.
outside, as long as it's outside the 50, I can put it,
Yeah.
okay, okay. But if I put it inside the 50, I will have to come back.
You'll have to come back,
That's fine.
okay.
Okay, so,
Actually, there was one more thing. So now in regards to, I don't even really want to do this, but so like I mentioned, I don't mean to hold up so much of your time, I apologize.
That's all right.
As mentioned, at the end of the driveway, there's that falling down. Obviously with the falling down, there's a possible crumbling wall. So there may need to be put a retaining wall to hold that dirt and driveway up. And again, that falls right in the do not disturb zone. If you guys do not approve of that, that's fine. I will just rebuild it, just put the couple of pieces of wood back that they had it, and just fill it with concrete a little bit. It's up to you guys on that one. I completely missed it. The shed took up so much time, I forgot the wall.
yeah.
So it's this section. he's-
It is it would be just to give you an idea of the measurements, it would be about because that's the drop, it's a 5-foot wall, probably about Mason said about 16 inches wide, possibly 2 feet, but that would be the max, but it wouldn't go that much. And so it's about 5 foot high by 16. We're talking about complete concrete, whatever they decide to build it out of.
Well, if we do that, then you're gonna have to come back for a notice of intent to do that, you know?
Yeah.
But right now, you wanna get your deck done,
Yeah.
we're gonna
So-
get rid of the shed.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna move the shed, whatever you're gonna do with the
Yeah.
shed. So, we're gonna have to continue because.
Well, the wall was
Unless we make,
Well, the retaining wall, he did add in this application. So
Yeah,
what he's asking is, can he rebuild his retaining wall
The one I have existing, if I can just, all it needs is 2 pieces of wood and a little
Oh,
concrete.
yeah, that's fine.
That's it.
I don't have a problem with
All
that.
right,
I don't
that's
have a
it,
problem with
because
that.
it can stay the way it is, it's holding up fine. It's
Right.
really 2 to 3 max, I have a picture of it, 2 to maybe 3 pieces, I max of wood and just some concrete. I'm not even really fond of having the wall at the end of the driveway, I think it looks kinda ugly, but
Okay, so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna need a motion for a negative determination.
It's the public hearing.
Well, it's a public hearing, and nobody else to be heard. I need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. All right, so we're gonna entertain a motion that you can replace your existing deck. So we need a negative determination, correct? So I need a motion for a negative determination to replace the existing deck with a contingent upon moving the shed and and he has the right to do the wall, the thing there, the retaining wall. Does that sound reasonable?
Sounds good.
Yes.
Okay, can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, gentlemen.
yeah, so can I work, can we go ahead with?
I just
Yeah.
need to type the permit and get signatures, and I'll let you know when it's ready.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, where are we now? Okay, we're in a public hearing, request for determination of applicability, Raytheon Company, 50 Apple Hill Drive, map 38, lot 2.
Good evening. I'm going to use your easel, because I think it's better than mine, if I may. My name is Scott Doty. And I don't know, Mr. Chairman, if you want to open, if you're going to open the hearing, you have to, or do you want me to continue?
The hearing's open.
Okay, great. Good. The name is Scott Doty. I'm managing principal of John G. Crow Associates. We're landscape architects, civil engineers in Winchester. Been in the business for nearly 50 years. I personally, 45 years, have been working in eastern Massachusetts. And the here representing Raytheon Company. Raytheon, you're probably familiar with their property on Apple Hill Drive, facility there, which was built in the late 80s, 1980s. And it's time to repair some of their facilities, specifically parking lots and driveways, which have started to in need of repair and construction. It's an ongoing maintenance program that Raytheon has for their property. This, it just so happens that this next project, lot 7, and some of the driveways associated to and from it are within buffer zones of historic wetlands and an intermittent stream that runs down along the side of the property. The construction is, none of the construction is new. It's a reconstruction of pavement and curbs, but prior to that, the installation of erosion control sediment controls to protect the wetlands. There is some minor repair to some of the drainage structures. There's one catch basin that needs partial reconstruction, and a few hoodeds in some of the existing catch basins need to be replaced and repaired in order to continue to protect down gradient wetlands from floatable petroleum. I could go into greater detail. I don't know how much time. Stefania told me that this commission likes to move along, and maybe perhaps I should answer questions. But I think the application, the plans, perhaps could lead to some questions for the commission members. Be happy to answer.
Is there anybody in the audience with any questions? Can you step up to the microphone and introduce yourself, please?
How we doing? Tom Roxio, 936 North Street, a butter of Raytheon. How you doing? So as it is right now, I'm really concerned about drainage because the runoff from the driveway and the parking lot floods my backyard. And the intermittent stream also floods my backyard. The property line between the main entrance and my property is full of dead and decaying trees, and that is not helping any of water runoff, and it kind of goes down like that and just curves around into my backyard. And on the back end of the property, there is some better drainage control from the corner of the parking lot there. There's a nice buffer zone between the property and the actual parking lot. That seems to work on the back. It's the driveway coming in that I'm curious about what's going to be done.
It'd be great, if Mr. Chairman, if I may.
You may.
We'd love to know where you live in relationship to the site. Could you point that out?
Yeah,
I think the commission and both Raytheon would like to.
where is the main entrance?
The main entrance to the facility is here.
Then I'm right there.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
the blue house right.
Okay, right near the
Yeah.
main entrance. This particular work that is not in any kind of area where it would influence drainage.
So it's on the opposite
This parking lot and driveway work is towards the back
Copy that.
edge end of the property. And in any event, this is not changing any draining patterns at all, this work. This is just the reconstruction, repavement, and repair of curbing in this
the
area. And the backside's behind the buildings. You're in front of the buildings on the main drag. Yeah.
So nothing will be done up there?
No, it's not gonna do anything to either, to change anything in the area where you live.
Fantastic. Good to know.
You might want to call Raytheon and see
Yeah,
if they can help you out, yeah?
If I may, there's a gentleman here, Josh Akaba from Raytheon. He's the project manager for the project. And perhaps when we're done with the hearing, perhaps we can talk. And see what's going on over there by your house.
Excellent.
See if there's anything we can do with that.
That'd be great to be a
Thank you.
good neighbor. All right, board, anybody else in the audience with any questions? Seeing none, board members.
I don't have any problems with it.
So the footprint, it's all the same,
Yes, it is, it's all within.
and catch basins and things are the same?
Yes, yeah. No changes to drainage, except we have a couple, like I said, the catch basin needs to be repaired, or actually 2 or 3 of them need to be repaired.
You're putting the sacks in the drainage too, right?
I'm sorry.
You'd be putting the sacks in the drainage.
Oh, yes, we'll have the sacks and all the catch basins within the work area. We're actually going to the extent of making sure we have belts and suspenders out there. At the outlet areas, we're making sure we have a check dam just in the event. But it's unlikely. These guys, when Raytheon, their team comes through here, they can't afford to lose parking for a long time. This work gets done rather rapidly, but we make sure that all the environmental protections are in place before the work's done.
Stefan, you have any questions?
No, I don't. I've been out to the site and everything looked good to me, and we had the town engineer review it, and he was okay with
Okay.
the plans.
All right, so there's nobody else that wants to speak. All right, with that, I would like to entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. And since nobody has an issue, I'm going to need a motion for a negative determination for Raytheon Company, 50 Apple Hill Drive, map 38, lot 2.
I move?
So, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And if you can talk to the neighbor here,
Sure, we
help him
will.
out there.
What kind of schedule would we expect? They're not gonna do this work till next year, by the way. I think it's pretty clear. I didn't meant to mention that earlier. So it's not like we're in a rush for any paperwork from Stefania, but it'd be great if I imagine it would come with your typical conditions and as such, and look forward to getting that sometime soon.
It's typically no later than 2 weeks
Oh,
that you'll get it. Okay.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you. What do we got next? We're on item H, correct? Yep. Next on the agenda, item H, request for an extension of permit, Reed Atamian, trustee of Robert Atamian Realty Trust. We're on item H, Reed Atamian, request for extension of permit, trustee for Robert Atamian Realty Trust, 150 Main Street, map 11, lot 13, DEP 305879.
Good evening, Doug Lees from Land Engineering and Environmental Services. We are representing the Reed Atamian Trust on their, I guess it's the Robert Atamian Trust, Robert Atamian Realty Trust. A request for an extension of the order of conditions. As you all probably aware, the construction's been moving right along and it's pretty well close to being wrapped up. They have some pavement and some cosmetic work on the parking lot. I think I saw the last of the lights go up the other day. The building's up. The wetland replication area has been in for years, and it's a wetland. Like it's supposed to be. The utilities are all in. I did an interim as-built a few months ago. I submitted that to the engineering department to show the utilities in the parking that was in. They hope to have the work done by the end of the year, weather permitting, to get the pavement in, and we'll be in for certificate of compliance, but
Okay.
the order was expiring before the work was finished, so.
All right. Stefan, you have any issues?
No, I have no issues.
I don't have any issues myself. Mr. Sheehan?
No, I have no questions.
Mr. Rohrabacher?
No, no questions.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to grant the extension for 2 years in order of conditions set to expire on November 20th, 2019. The extension will be until November 20th, 2021.
I move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Okay, now we're on to item I, request for certificate of compliance. Jeffrey O'Neill, 1635 Shawshene Street, map 113, lot 21, DEP number 305848. Is there anyone here for that? Oh, that's you.
So we are the owners of 160 Daskin Road and cleaning up title, et cetera. We did notice that we had an order of conditions that was still open and pending. So we're here to close that out if possible with a certificate of compliance. The work was done back in 2008, and recently we've gone in and cleaned up everything that is on-site related to that area that was already done in the past. So it's, and this property splits two towns, so half is in Andover. I'd say majority is in Andover, and then 10% of the building is in Tewksbury. And then most of this work, well, all this work was done in Tewksbury. So we have a certificate of compliance that was done with the town of Andover, and this is the one that we'd like to get a certificate of compliance with Tewksbury as well.
Okay. Stefania, any issues?
No, I don't have any issues.
Okay, neither do I. Board members, any issues?
I'm good.
No, no issues.
All right, this isn't a public hearing. Okay, I'm going to need a motion to approve the request for certificate of compliance for Jeffrey O'Neill, 1635 Shawshene Street, map 113, lot 21, DEP 305848. Can I have that in form of a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Item J. This is the one that we continued from the last meeting because we weren't too sure of how to handle it because Mr. Robacker wasn't here and I had recused myself. But having read somewhere in the conservation bylaws, we can vote on this enforcement order, or what are we trying to bring it back into compliance?
Yeah,
Okay, to bring it, the enforcement order for Bernard and Susan McInerney at 1099 Main Street, map 61, lot 12. Okay, the reason, it's out of necessity that we have to do it this way, because even though I recused myself, Mr. Robacker wasn't here, we still have to have it done, and out of necessity, we're able to do it. Stefan, you have any issues with it? I saw the pictures from the last time. And
no, the only thing I want to mention are, there's actually 2 enforcement orders that we had, and I think both of them can be returned to compliance today. One of them was for the invasive vegetation clearing that they did, and they have a notice of intent for that now, and the other one was for the lamppost, which they seeded the area, so I think both could come into compliance.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this in the form of 2 motions. The first motion is going to be for the enforcement order issued on August 2018. And that was in regards to the installation of the lamps in the wetlands, or was it in the or within 10-15 of an intermittent stream. Okay, it's back in compliance, so we need a motion to bring it back into compliance for that enforcement order. Do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the second one was the cutting an invasive species, which was an enforcement order issued in July 2017. And this is all back into compliance as well. So can I have a motion to move that back into compliance?
I move?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. That does that one. Okay. Item K is emergency certification ratification, Cliff Construction, 104 Lighton Lane, map 79, lot 15. And I'm assuming this was an emergency septic tank?
Yep.
Okay.
Just
I don't
needs to
have
be
any-
ratified.
Yeah, okay. Can I have a motion to ratify the Cliff Construction at 104 Lighton Lane, map 79, lot 15?
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Okay, now we're on to the accept. Did everybody read the calendar? Any issues with the calendar for anybody?
Possibility January 22nd, I might be away.
Okay,
Okay.
Still on the fence about that.
all right, I think we should just approve them as is, because with any luck, maybe we'll have another member by that time, or if not before. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the proposed meeting dates for the 2020 calendar year.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Chair votes aye as well. Now, this is, we got old business. Any old business? No old business? What's that?
Missed M.
No, that's got to go into this one here. Any new business? We had the concept plan discussion for 2512 Main Street, but that was continued. We'll listen to that the next time. Any administrative reports or correspondence? None. Okay, I just want to jump back to new business. And I want to make sure that the public is aware that we had two members shy, and we're looking for people. Where can people sign up or apply?
Town manager's office.
A town manager's
Yeah.
office.
A website.
And that's all I have for new business. Now, we're not going to adjourn, but we're going to move into executive session. I need a motion to go into executive session under exemption 3, discuss a strategy with regards to litigation. Okay, I'm going to take a roll call vote on this. Okay, so that means I'm going to mention your name. You say yes or you say no. Okay, Mr. Rohrabacher, in regards to the motion to go into executive session, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Sheehan?
Yes.
And the chair also votes yes. There'll be no further business done after executive session, so thank you, Tewksbury, and good night.